To start SketchUp, we first have to log into the app. To log into the app, we're going to go to our page on Canvas, and we're going to find the Google SketchUp. On this page is only one link for now, but by the time you get there, there's going to be more things filled in. All the video tutorials are going to be linked here, and this is going to be the place you're going to go when you want to start drawing with SketchUp. But step one says log into SketchUp by clicking here. It's going to bring you to this page. This page is going to ask you to log into SketchUp. So this is a cloud-based version of SketchUp. There's a downloaded version and a cloud-based version. We're going to start and do most of our work in the cloud-based version. That way you can pick up on it at home. Any computer that has internet access, you don't have to download any programs. But click here and say Start Modeling. And I always do the sign in with Google. It's easier because you can just use your school email account to do this. Sometimes it takes a little while for this page to load. This is why at the very end of the day, I always suggest that you download a version and save it on your network drive, as well as save it in the cloud in case we have internet issues. So I didn't have to log in because I already have logged in, but it will bring you to a page that says log in with your Gmail account password. Go ahead and do that. Now what I'm going to do is right away is I'm going to say save as. And I want to save this in the SketchUp folder. And I've already got some things here. You don't have to, you probably won't. I'm going to add a folder. I'm just going to call it Woods 1. And then I'll click and call this Nightstand. And that will save it in the Woods 1 folder. It's important to do this before you start modeling because this is not like a Google product that will automatically save as you go. You actually have to hit save for it to do any of the updates. All of the tools that we're going to use are over here and over here. And if you've used SketchUp before, the downloaded version, you'll note that the tools are the exact same. They're just in different locations. So it might take you a little while to find the same tools you look for that you know are on the downloaded version, but you'll find them pretty easily here. So we want to start drawing, and I always like to start in rectangles. So I've opened up to the side layout page in my SketchUp packet, and you're going to find the dimensions on there. Most of these dimensions are pretty straightforward and easy, but if you do have questions, please let me know. So I'm going to come over here and click on my rectangle tool. You'll notice when I click on this tool, I've got lots of options. I can draw several different kinds of rectangles. I can do circles, polygons, and text. If I say I want to click on text and I don't do it, oftentimes that A will pop up here instead of the rectangle. So then you have to click back on to get to the rectangle. The way that I'm orbiting right now is I'm clicking and holding down the scroll wheel on my mouse. So when I click and hold that, I pan around, or orbit as SketchUp calls it. I can also use that scroll wheel on my mouse, and when I roll it, I zoom in or out. This is the most tricky part of SketchUp here. I'm going to just draw a rectangle, and you'll see in the bottom right corner it's got dimensions filled in down there. If you want to change those dimensions, follow these steps. I have not let go of my mouse click. When I let go, it shades in gray. The very next step that I have to do is fill in the dimensions. You can't click anything. You can't click in the box. You have to fill the dimensions in. And if you look on the side layout packet in your plan, you'll see that our side is 11 3/4. And I have clicked someplace else, so I'm not able to adjust this. So all I have to do to fix that problem is start over. So I'm going to go 11, and you could do 11.75, or you could type in the fraction, 11 3/4 by 28 inches. And you see in the bottom right that changed, and I just hit enter, and it goes to the right size. And if you screw that up like I did the first time, you just have to undo it. This guy is nice to keep here because he gives you some size reference. I've seen students draw these that'll be 3,000 feet long, and they wonder why when they draw a 2-inch line that they can't see it. So you can get rid of the guy if you want to. You can leave him there. It's totally up to you. Now I've got to give this rectangle some thickness, so I'm going to use this rectangle tool with an arrow pointing out the top. It's called the push-pull tool. So when I click on the push-pull tool, I can make this taller. Our boards are 3/4 of an inch tall, so I'm going to say 0.75, enter. Now I have a board that's 11 3/4 wide by 28 long. If I'm unsure of that, I can use the dimension tool and I can check. This is the permanent dimension tool. One of the things I don't like about the online version of SketchUp is we can't change this just to read in inches, so you have to do a little bit of math. So 2 feet is 24 inches plus 4 is 8 to get to 28. I can't change that to just read inches, so anything over a foot is going to call it 1 foot or 2 foot and however many inches that you have. I'm going to get rid of these dimensions for now because they're just going to get in the way. Now I've got to put the Dadoes and Rabbets on here. To do that, I'm going to use this referencing tool. I believe that is down here somewhere. Might be under the dimension tool. Here it is, the tape measure. And I'm going to draw the Dadoes and the Rabbets in here. I'm going to start with the bottom dado. As you can see on our packet, it's 2 1/4 inches up from the bottom. So I just click on an edge and draw this. Sometimes if we would click on a corner, it'll just give us a line. You want to make sure that you click in the middle, and then you should be just fine. If you want to undo something you did, like I placed those in the wrong spot, I just hit Control-Z. That's the undo or step backwards button. So here I'm at 2.25. Now, mouse glitched on me there. I'm also going to be at 3 inches. These lines won't stay permanently. They're just there for reference. So I need to draw a line that's going to be there permanently. I'm going to get my rectangle, and I'm just going to fill this in. Now, if I want to, I can use this erase tool and erase these 2 lines. Then I can use my push-pull tool again, and I can drop this down because all of our dados are always 1/4 inch deep. So I just start pulling down, and I type in 0.25, enter, and now I've got a dado that's 1/4 inch deep. I'll repeat the same process on the top. This one is just 3/4 of an inch down, so you can see I can type in 3/4, and it will automatically update to that. I can pull down to 0.25, or I can just say snap to the same spot this one is, and they're going to be exactly the same. Now we're going to put the rabbit in here. To put the rabbit in, if you look at our plan, it's 3/8 by 3/8. So if I want to, I'll grab this. It's not cooperating at this moment. Sometimes if you hover at a different spot, I'm just going to erase this line that got drawn. If you hover at a different spot, it'll pull easier. There we go. So I'm going at 3/8. I'm going to draw this line all the way down. The rabbit may not make sense at this. Now we're going to have a little bit of an issue here. That's okay. I'll show you how we fix that. I'm going to pull this down 3/8. Just see how it's all broken up into different segments. It's going to say that I can't go any further than 1/4 of an inch. And that's just one of the quirks in SketchUp, and that's okay. I'm going to erase this line because we don't need that going through the dado. And the way that we can get around SketchUp being kind of goofy, I'm going to erase these. Is we have to draw one more line. After we push it down to 1/4, just going to draw a line all the way, whoops, from the bottom to the top. And it already let me go 1/4, but I need to go 1 more 1/8. So I'll go 1/8. And now you can see that rabbit should be deeper than the dados. And if that doesn't make sense to you right now, just trust me. It will make sense eventually. We are done drawing the side now. We're going to come back in the next video and show you how we can duplicate that for the other side so we don't have to redraw it.